If you're an artist and you feel like you have hit a wall, you feel blocked and uninspired, don't panic. Today I am sharing my 3-part formula, which I guarantee you will never feel blocked again. So part 1 of the formula, you're going to go to Pinterest and you're going to start pinning. You're going to pin everything that inspires you. It can be poetry, it can be quotes, just anything that you find beautiful. Animals, can be beautiful colors or shapes. All of the things that make you feel inspired are going to this inspiration board. And after you feel like you've gathered enough information, enough inspiration, you're going to look to see if there is a recurring theme, if there's one particular pin that inspires you. And from this one pin, you're going to start creating a source for your painting. So look at this pin and start brain dumping all of the things that got you inspired about this pin. Is it the shape? Is it the subject? Is it an emotion? Start brain dumping everything about this pin in particular that is making you feel inspired. What is the thing that has caught your eye? And then you're going to journal, and then you're going to create a series based on this pin or a couple of pins that have caught your attention and have made you feel inspired. So after you created this mood board, you have done a brain dump of all of the things that came to your mind. Then probably now you have a little theme. Maybe it's one of the quotes that came up on one of those pins. For me, for example, I have pinned a lot of quotes by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and I like to gather beautiful photos of wild woman and the wild woman archetype, nymphs and goddesses for a lot of my paintings. And by gathering these pins, I start creating sources. Now to create sources, I use a lot of different apps. I like to work with Photoleap. I also like to work with Pixlr. So basically, I change the photos completely so that they no longer look like the photos. And then I start working with them. For example, I might put a double exposure. I once used this beautiful portrait of a girl and I did a double exposure of different iris flowers because I was working on the theme of Iris, the Greek goddess. Some people actually even do a mood board. They get a portrait and then some different flowers, and then they put these things together into their paintings. That can work too. And that's a lovely way to work more intuitively. But I usually like to have more of a source that I create. So tip number 2 is create a color palette. So for me, I like to create different color palettes of colors that I feel inspired to work with in different paintings. I use Pinterest a lot for inspiration, and I start thinking of different color palettes. You can even use one color. For example, think of Picasso with his blue period, or think of George O'Keeffe with the desert tones. Just think of different palettes that also mean something to you, that makes your heart skip a beat, that make you feel inspired. So again, back to my iris painting, my Greek goddess iris painting. I used iris from my garden that was growing wildly it inspired me, and I used that as my color palette. I work with natural earth pigments and botanicals. Everything that I use in my canvases are from nature. So I created my own paints and inks using the iris flower. So working with the color palette is a really good way to create a new series with these themes that you have gathered from Pinterest. So tip number 3, schedule the time and clock in. So this is really important because you cannot just wait for inspiration to fall from the sky and find you. No, you have to work as a professional. I took this idea from the book The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. It's one of my favorite books. And the difference between the amateur and the professional is that the professional does not wait for inspiration. The professional artist schedules time to make art. So this can be before heading to work, after work, or your weekends, or even during your lunch break. So this is the most important thing. You need to look at your art as if it matters, as if it's a job, not as something that you can only do when you feel inspired or not. That's not the way artists that thrive really work. So this tip I find very valuable because I never wait for inspiration to just fall from the sky. I have painting days in my schedule so that I can sit down and get paintings done. So this is my 3-step formula that keep me inspired all the time. I never have artist block. This 3-step formula is the secret behind me being constantly creative and always producing a lot of works of art. And I'm sharing it because I truly believe that it will end artist block for you too. So please let me know in the comments what do you think of this little secret formula. And if you have tips of your own, please share with me. I'm also interested in hearing what different people and different artists like to do and how they deal with artist block and keep themselves inspired. I guarantee that by using this formula, you won't feel like you're hitting the wall again. Thank you for watching. Ciao!